All right, now for the chocolate lovers, how many milliliters of pure chocolate must be added to 150 milliliters of chocolate topping that is 50% chocolate to make a topping that is 75% chocolate? All right, so how many mils of pure chocolate? So we want to know how many mils of this must be added to 150 mils of this 50% to make a topping, which we don't know how much is, and that's going to be of 75%. So X equals milliliters pure chocolate. That's 100%. Okay. Y equals milliliters of 75% chocolate. Okay. So what do we know? Well, we usually add the first two items and we get our last one. So if we take X plus 150, that should equal Y. Okay. Now, what we usually do after that is we multiply by their concentrations. Pure chocolate, 100%. So if we convert that to decimal, it's 1. So 1 times x plus. Now, 150 was 50%, so that's going to be 0.5 times 150 equals, and this one is 75%, so 0.75 times y. Okay. Well, now we have to take 150 times 0.5. Well, that should be 75. So we have x plus 75 equals 0.75y. All right, so what do we want to do now? Well, let's just take and plug in this right there. And then we have everything in terms of x. So we have x plus 75 equals 0.75 times x plus 150. Can't write it. 50. All right. Well, what is 150 times 3/4 equal to? Well, 2 goes in here twice, 2 goes in here 75 times. And then so that gives us 75 times 3, that's 15, that's 21, 22, 225. And so 225 divided by 2 is 2.50. So x plus 75 equals 0.75x plus 112.50. Okay. Now, let's take the x's to the left and let's take the numbers to the right. So that cancels that, that cancels that. So 1 minus 0.75 is 0.25x equals. And now what we have, if we subtract, that's going to be a 0, that's a 5, and then we're going to have a carry, that's going to be a 7, and that's going to be a 3. Okay. So 3750 divided by 0.25. And maybe this is another time we can use our calculator quicker. So 3750 divided by 0.25, it's going to be 150. And so X equals 150 milliliters pure chocolate. Okay. So what does that give us? Well, if we have 150 milliliters plus 150 milliliters equals, well, that's going to be Y equals 300 milliliters of 75% chocolate. Okay, so that is our solution. Now we have to check it to make sure it works. Well, again, first one is pretty easy. We just checked it right there to get it. 150 plus 150 is 300. So yes, that works. Now, what about this one? 1 times x, well, that's going to be just 150 plus half of 150 is 75. And does that equal 0.75 times 300? Well, so now what we have to do is take 0.75 times 300, 0, 0, 15, 21, 22, and it's going to be 225, and 75, and that looks like it's going to be 225 as well. And so it works, and so that is the correct solution for this problem. Okay. And again, I think the key, whenever it says pure, then you have to see, was it pure 100% or pure none? Like when we saw the one with water. Water was 0% acid, but it was pure water, and so that was 0% acid. Whereas pure chocolate is 100% chocolate, and so it's the 100% instead of the 0. So you have to distinguish what those pures indicate in your problems. And now also notice sometimes we have to find how many mils of this and how many mils of this, and they give us the mils of the last one. This one, they gave us the mils of the middle one, but we had to find the first and the last one. So they can move these things around and make the problem, so you have to kind of look at it and see, what do I need? And basically you just have to plug in things, read the question. No, I don't know that. I don't know that. And so then you know that you take this plus this is equal to this. And then after that, you just take it times percentages, and then you've got your equations. All right, how about this one? So it says turkey and pigeon, turkey, the pigeon, travels the same distance of 280 miles in 5 hours against the wind as it does traveling 4 hours with the wind and local skies. What is the rate of turkey the pigeon in still air and the rate of wind? All right, well, let's draw a picture again. It's not a river, but it's air flowing. So this is kind of my air flowing, and it's going to be flowing that direction, and that's the rate. So that's going to be rate of the airstream or the wind. And let's let x equal the rate of turkey, who's a pigeon. All right, so with the wind, we're going to have x plus r, and against the wind, we're going to have x minus r. Okay, we're going the same distance, 280 miles. So we can say, well, 280 equals, now let's go with wind, x plus r, times how fast it would be going then, or how many hours. It would go for 4 hours here. And then we have the other one, 280 equals x minus r against the wind, and that took an extra hour, which was 5. Okay. Now, this time, without making mistakes, what we're going to do is we're just going to say, let's divide by 4 the first time, and here let's divide by 5. Okay. So if we have trouble with this, we can go 4 goes in that, 7, and that's 28, and so it's 70. So 70 equals x plus r. All right. Now what? Well, then over here we take 5 into 280, and that's going to be 5. That's 25. 5 and 8 is 30. That's 6. So that's going to be 56 equals x minus r. Now what we can do is just put them on top of each other, and we just add them together because the r's cancel. And so we get 6, that's 12, and that equals 2x. So divide by 2, x equals 63, and that's going to be miles per hour for turkey. So that's one fast flying pigeon. All right, so now how about the rate of the wind? Well, now we can plug it into, either one of these. So if we say 56 equals x, which is 63 minus r, and so then we subtract 63, and then we get r is equal to, well, negative r rather, is equal to, that's going to be -7. So r is equal to 7 miles per hour. Okay, so that's the wind. So that's what we say is the solution. Now let's check it. All right, so x plus r. So x plus r is going to be 70 times 4 is 280. That works. So that one works. Now if we take 63 minus 7, that's going to give us 56 times 5. Well, 56 times 5, that's 30. That's 28, 280. So that one works as well. So both of the equations work, and so those are our true speeds. All right, let's pause there.